Hey everybody, it's Mark Hegstrom from Business Owner Succession Strategies, or BOSS. I wanted to put together this note so that you could consider something that I think is going to affect us all. And that is, sadly, that we are all going to pass on one day. I was thinking about that in my last webinar, but it was about getting your house in order. And I thought something that was missing was something about digital assets. And that's why I wanted to add this note for everybody, because we all have digital assets. And while we might have a plan for our real estate and for our financial assets and our real property like cars and homes and other things like that, we may in fact not have thought about things that also have value to us. So I read this article recently in the Wall Street Journal, and I thought it was neat because they broke down the assets into by value. So one of them would be monetary assets or monetary value. And so those are things like your Sky Mile points or your airline loyalty points, for example, or hotel points. And so those are examples of different digital assets that have a monetary value. You know, there are other ones that have a sentimental value. I think of the pictures of my grandkids and pictures of my family that are on my phone. In fact, I was thinking about that recently, how we used to go to a photo mat and we used to get them printed and we put them into a photo album. And now, how do we see our pictures? Well, we scroll endlessly through our pictures and we try to find one and we show our phone, right? And that's all great and everything. And there's certainly some great pictures and we take tons of them because we don't have to go buy a film. It's a great deal. But what happens when you pass away? Well, when you pass away, all those pictures, how do you get access to them? How does somebody else get access to them? And the thing is nobody gets access to them unless you've set a legacy contact. And a legacy contact is something where you go into your iPhone, for example, and you press on settings and you press your name and you press on password and security and you scroll down to the spot where it says legacy contact. I was looking at mine and mine has my wife's email address in there. And there is an 88-digit password that she's going to need in order to get into my phone after I pass, in order to get anything that's in the phone out of the phone. And we know there's a lot of stuff in the phone. Another aspect of digital assets might be administrative, things like email, for example. Now, you may not want somebody to look at your email, but then again, you're not around, right? That would be a great thing to provide access to. You know, I read this this article on the Wall Street Journal, and it was from the spring, and we'll put that link up there so you can access it. But you know, it made me think. Inside our BOSS program, we have under continuity planning, we have a family love letter, and the family love letter is a note that you would leave to somebody to say, hey, this is stuff that you may want to access in the event that something happened. And for example, I recently took my family love letter and I went and I took my wallet out and I put each of the credit cards in my wallet, including my license, and everything that was in there, and I put it on the glass and I hit copy. And what was interesting is I looked at the last time I did that, and they were different. My license had been renewed. I have different credit cards. And boy, if somebody took your wallet and you had pictures of your wallet and everything that was in it, why, you could call the 800 number on the back of the card because you had it accessible. That's kind of an extension of these digital assets too. In addition to that, I was looking at the family love letter, and I was looking at all of the things that we put in there. So for example, if I passed away, I would want my wife to be able to access another bank account that is just in my name, that I use extend through work, for example. I would want her to be able to get to that. And so I have a username and password in there. I also have a lot of information about insurance policies and my 401k plan and other things like that that I know she's going to want to access. And I have the link and the username and the password, and that's all locked up in my safe there. The last thing I wanted to share with respect to digital assets are passwords. Boy, don't we have a lot of passwords. I can think of dozens of passwords of things that I use right now, right? And I have those things digitally in a password keeper. I use a program called LastPass, and so I have a master password, and then inside there are every place that I go to. And I can use those, create a strong password suggestion that are very unusual and would be very difficult to remember and certainly difficult to hack. I adopt those, but I save them in LastPass. Anytime I want to go to any one of these places, I can go through LastPass and launch that site from there without ever having to open up that password. Or I can go to that website and I can click the little link for LastPass and fill it in from that program. And it works on all of my devices, and digital assets have value, and if something happens to you, you may want somebody to be able to access these things. And quickly, some of those pictures may be used at a celebration of life or something along that line. So you want to make it easy. You might want to use the family love letter as a way to help your loved ones with your digital assets. That's all I've got for you today. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.